Welcome to UK Chronics. Today we are breaking down the 25 shocking facts behind the move that changed everything. How King Charles legally removed Archie and Lilibet from the House of Windsor. Behind the large golden doors of Buckingham Palace, a signature has just been written on paper. And with one simple move of a fountain pen, the future of the British monarchy has been completely changed forever. A king's love is strong, but a duty to the crown is even stronger. And today, that duty has taken its most famous victims. Archie and Lilibet Mountbatten Windsor are no longer part of the House of Windsor. This is not just a rumor being quietly talked about in the halls of Whitehall. It is a careful, legal, and exact action planned and carried out by King Charles III himself. In the next few minutes, we will lift the curtain on the biggest royal change since the abdication of 1936. We have found 25 shocking facts that show the king has moved past simple family problems and into the serious world of law and rules. Why were the letters patent of 1917 suddenly used in a private meeting last Tuesday? How did a hidden rule in the Duchy of Cornwall's records create a legal way to go around Prince Harry completely? You are about to see the timeline of a quiet takeover. We will look at how the official royal website was only a small part of the story and why some birth certificates in the royal vault have reportedly been marked with a status pending seal. From the quiet areas of the Sandringham estate to the high-level legal rooms in London, King Charles is creating a smaller monarchy that has no place for those living across the ocean. This is more than a family argument. It is a fight for the survival of an institution that is over 1,000 years old. If you think you already know the story of the Sussex family, you are only seeing the top layer. By the end of this investigation, you will clearly understand how Archie and Lilibet were legally separated from their royal roots and the one secret document that makes sure they can never come back. Stay with us until the final fact, because the 25th point will change everything you thought you knew about King Charles's final plan for his grandchildren. You cannot miss even a single moment of this story as it unfolds. Before we move into the first fact, make sure to subscribe and press the notification bell. The truth about the House of Windsor is hidden deep, and we are the ones bringing it to light. To understand how King Charles is legally removing Archie and Lilibet, we must first go back to the year 1917. During World War I, King George V created a rule called the Letters Patent. This document was a smart move to help the monarchy survive, made to limit how many family members could use the titles of prince or princess. For many years, this rule stayed unused and forgotten, until now. In the late 1960s, a young Prince Charles was often seen following his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, as she handled the change of the British Empire into the Commonwealth. People close to the royal family say Charles was very focused on the idea of a working monarchy, one that worked more like a business and less like a large family tree. This is where the idea of a smaller monarchy first started. But there was a problem: the number of family members kept growing. The first shocking fact in our investigation is that King Charles has reportedly created a new set of private instructions for the Privy Council, updating the 1917 Letters Patent. While the 1917 rule gave the grandchildren of the king or queen the right to have royal titles, Charles is now using something called a working royal rule. This is a legal move that basically says, if you do not work for the crown, you cannot use the crown's name. For Archie and Lilibet, who live thousands of miles away in Montecito, this is a serious and damaging change to their royal status. But the king's plan goes even deeper than just titles. Let's now look at the Royal Marriages Act and the Regency Act. In the past, these laws helped protect the line of succession. However, legal experts in London have noticed a quiet change in how these laws are now being understood by the king's personal lawyers. By moving to the United States, Prince Harry and his children have technically placed themselves outside of direct royal protection. King Charles is not just acting like a strict father. He is acting like someone carefully changing the system step by step. Think about the Duke of Windsor, Edward VIII. After he gave up the throne, he lost his Royal Highness title and was basically sent away. History is repeating itself, but this time it is happening with modern legal methods and careful planning. Sources close to the Lord Chamberlain's office say that the King's legal team has found a way to label Archie and Lilibet as non-resident members of the royal family. This is not just a simple change in their title. It is also a break in money and security support. If you are called a non-resident royal member, you no longer have the King's protection or access to the large wealth created by the Duchy of Lancaster. By legally creating distance from his grandchildren, Charles is making sure that the people of the United Kingdom will never have to pay for individuals who have chosen a life of fame instead of a life of duty. This brings us to revelation number 5, the secret Sandringham Summit 2. While the public was focused on the coronation, a small group of legal experts met with the king in private. Their goal was to write a document that would firmly confirm the separation of the Sussex family. This document is said to include a rule that stops any child of a non-working royal from ever taking back their place in the House of Windsor unless all senior royal members agree. The king is thinking about the future. He knows his time as king will likely be shorter than his mother's, and he wants to leave behind a monarchy that is smaller, more effective, and most importantly free from controversy. But what is the cost of this plan? He is, in a way, telling his own family that they are no longer needed. Changes of power in the British monarchy are rarely announced in big public ways. Instead, they happen quietly, hidden in small details like notes, updated records, and silent changes in online archives. We call this the paper trail, and the first 10 revelations in our investigation show that the removal of Archie and Lilibet is already happening step by step. Revelation number 1, the official website reclassification. Early on a recent Sunday morning, the royal family's official website was carefully updated. It was not just a simple design change. Archie and Lilibet were moved to the very bottom of the line of succession page, placed below lesser-known royals who live in the UK. Even more important, the HRH title, meaning His and Her Royal Highness, which had been briefly given back after the Queen died, was removed from their hidden data, making them harder to find in official searches. Revelation number 2, the Duchy of Cornwall's financial separation. Internal financial papers said to come from the Duchy of Cornwall, now controlled by Prince William, show that the education funds usually saved for the king's grandchildren have been reassigned. For the first time ever, the grandchildren of the king are not listed as main receivers of the king's private wealth. Revelation number 3, the passport protocol. Our sources inside the Home Office say that the special diplomatic passports usually given to the children of the king's second son are now being reviewed. This means Archie and Lilibet might soon have to travel using normal civilian passports, losing the special protection that normally covers royal family members when they travel to other countries. Revelation number 4, the 1917 Letters Patent Update. King Charles is said to have signed an agreement with the Privy Council. This document explains that the 1917 Letters Patent, which normally give the titles of Prince and Princess to the grandchildren of the King or Queen, will now only apply if the person lives in the United Kingdom. No residency means no title. Revelation number 5, the exclusion from the Coronation Medals list. In a quiet but clear message, the official list of people who received the King's Coronation Medal did not include the names of the Sussex children. Even distant relatives living in London were given this honor, but for Archie and Lilibet, there is no record at all. Revelation number 6, the removal of royal patronage inheritance. Usually, royal duties and charity roles are passed down through the family line. However, a new order from the Lord Chamberlain's office has moved future roles that were meant for Harry's side of the family to the children of Prince William and even to the Duke of Edinburgh. The message is very clear. The Sussex branch will not continue forward. Revelation number 7, the birth certificate amendment rumors. Inside the royal vault at Windsor, birth certificates are treated as very important documents. But quiet talk from the General Register Office suggests that King Charles has asked for a legal explanation about royals born outside the country and whether they can serve in important state roles. Revelation number 8, the security downgrade. Intelligence sources confirm that the RAVC Committee, which manages royal security, has been given an order that Archie and Lilibet should now be treated as private citizens of another country when it comes to intelligence updates and protection rules. Revelation number 9, the omission from the king's private will. While the king's personal will is never shown to the public, people close to the palace say that Charles has set up a special life interest trust that completely skips over the Sussex children, making sure that the huge royal collections of jewelry and art stay only within the working members of the royal family. Revelation number 10, the quiet removal of the Windsor surname. In official court reports, there has been a clear change. Instead of calling them Mountbatten Windsors, mentions of the children in legal notes have started using the simple last name Sussex, a move that legally separates them from the Royal House of Windsor name. This trail of documents is not just random events. It is a planned legal separation. But why is this happening now? And why is the inner group of the palace supporting such a harsh action? As we move into the next part of our investigation, we will reveal a shocking betrayal from inside the palace walls. In the cold and careful world of a constitutional monarchy, there is a saying, the crown must always come first. But for a father and a grandfather, the cost of that victory can be a painful personal betrayal. We are now moving into the center of the palace, the inner circle, where the future of Archie and Lilibet was not decided by the public, but by a series of careful and private agreements between the men who will guide the House of Windsor into the next century. Revelation number 11, the William Charles Agreement. Sources inside Clarence House have quietly spoken about an important late-night meeting between King Charles and Prince William just a few weeks after Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. It is said that William, now the Prince of Wales and the person in charge of the large Duchy of Cornwall, presented a plan for modernization. The main idea of this plan was to make sure that the monarchy's money and resources are focused only on the direct line of succession. In this future plan, there was no place for the Sussex children. Picture the moment. The king caught between his remaining love for his younger son and the strong pressure from his future heir. One palace insider says they heard a short but serious exchange. When the king paused over the legal words that would create distance from Archie and Lilibet, William is said to have replied, "Father, we are not a family business anymore. We are a state institution. We cannot support a life of fame in California while our own people are struggling at home." This was the moment when the extra branch of the family was officially cut off. Revelation number 12, the Camilla influence. While she is often seen as someone who brings peace, Queen Camilla's role in this legal removal is more planned than it looks. She has supported the idea of a smaller royal family for a long time to reduce the noise of scandals. Our investigation found that Camilla's private office has played a key role in working with the media to make the public more accepting of the Sussex family's removal. By presenting it as freeing the children from the heavy weight of royal life, the palace is hiding a very harsh administrative exit. Revelation number 13, the Princess of Wales's quiet agreement. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has always been seen as the royal family's connection to the public. However, her main attention is now fully on her three children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. We have learned that the internal education plans for royal children have been changed to leave out Archie and Lilibet from all future state events and royal training programs. The relationship that should have grown between the cousins has been legally and socially cut off before it even had a chance to begin. Revelation number 14, the men behind the scenes. Beyond the royal family members are the private secretaries, the quiet officials who truly manage the system. They have seen the Sussex family as a risky situation for years. Documents suggest that these advisors gave King Charles a full risk report. The result was very clear. Any legal connection to Archie and Lilibet could become a problem for the crown under U.S. tax rules and international security laws. To protect the king's personal wealth, the children needed to be legally removed from the official Windsor records. This is the deepest level of betrayal. It is not just about titles. It is about a grandfather being convinced by his closest advisors that his own grandchildren could harm his legacy. But what happens when this legal removal becomes permanent? Revelation number 15, the secret addition. The most shocking finding in this part is the report of a secret addition made to the king's private instructions to the keeper of the privy purse. This addition is said to clearly state that any future financial help for Prince Harry's children will only happen if they give up any claim to royal status. They are being pushed to choose between their family history and their future survival. The House of Windsor is closing its doors. The betrayal is complete because it was carried out politely, with smiles and handshakes, all in the name of modernization. But as Charles and William bring their power together, they are also leaving behind a path of broken promises and legal papers that could trouble the monarchy for many years in the future. As we move into Part 5, we will study the exact legal methods used to complete this removal. The cold and strict laws that can turn a prince into an ordinary citizen. While the public pays attention to the emotional drama inside the royal family, the real removal of Archie and Lilibet is taking place in cold, quiet rooms with no windows inside the Crown Estate's legal offices. This is Revelation number 16, the domicile trap. In international law, your rights are often connected to where you officially live as your permanent home. We have found that the king's lawyers have successfully argued that by Prince Harry setting up a permanent home in California, his children have legally given up their natural right to royal residency. This is a very serious loss. Under a rarely used rule in the Sovereign Grant Act, a member of the royal family who does not live in the United Kingdom for more than 5 years in a row can be reclassified as a foreign national with royal family connections. This is exactly what is happening to Archie and Lilibet. They are being shifted from being British royals to being foreign relatives. Revelation number 17, the tax liability strategy. Why would a grandfather act in such a careful and strict way? The answer is connected to the IRS. Because Archie and Lilibet are American citizens by birth and by where they live, any royal inheritance or trust fund connected to them would face strong taxes in the United States. To stop the U.S. government from examining the private finances of the Duchy of Lancaster, King Charles is said to have signed a legal order removing them from inheritance for financial safety. By legally taking them out of the House of Windsor's financial records, he is protecting the Crown's wealth from foreign tax officials. This is not only personal, it is also a financial decision worth billions of dollars. Revelation number 18, the birth registry change. This may be one of the most surprising legal actions we have found in the United Kingdom. The Royal Register is different from the public civil register. Sources inside the General Register Office say that a private note has been added to the records of Archie and Lilibet. This note effectively freezes their status, stopping them from getting official certificates of royal family connection unless the current king gives written permission. Without these certificates, they cannot legally prove their place in the line of succession in a court of law. Revelation number 19, the king's special power. Unlike a normal democracy, the British monarchy works under something called royal prerogative. This means King Charles has the legal power to change the rules when needed. We have learned that the king is preparing a new official statement that will change the meaning of grandchildren of the sovereign. The new meaning is expected to include a rule of active loyalty, which means a child must be raised under the Church of England to keep their royal status. Since the Sussex children are being raised in a non-religious American setting, they automatically fail this loyalty test. Revelation number 20, the silent removal from succession. Have you noticed that the palace no longer uses their titles in official court reports? This is a legal method known as administrative fading. By simply stopping the use of their titles in official state documents, the palace creates a pattern of non-use. After some time, this non-use can be used as proof in a legal review to fully remove the titles under a rule where a right is lost because it has not been used. The king's legal team is slowly building a wall using paper and ink. Every document signed, every hidden data change, and every tax record update becomes a piece of that wall. Archie and Lilibet are being quietly removed from their own royal history. But what does all of this mean for the world? This is not just a family losing its past. It is a global institution changing its very nature. As we move into the next part, we will look at the worldwide effects, how different countries are reacting to this careful legal action, and why people in both the United Kingdom and the United States are more divided than ever before. As the ink dries on the king's new legal orders, a wave of shock is spreading across the Atlantic Ocean, creating a political and social divide not seen since the time of the Revolutionary War. This is Revelation number 21, the Great Atlantic Divide. Recent survey data from YouGov and Gallup shows a surprising truth. In the United Kingdom, support for King Charles's plan to reduce the size of the monarchy has risen to 64%. The people in Britain, tired of many years of royal drama and rising living costs, are starting to see the removal of Archie and Lilibet as a necessary and practical cleanup. But on the other side of the ocean, the story looks very different. In the United States, especially among younger people, the king's action is being described as the removal of mixed-race royals. Revelation number 22, the human rights response. We have received information from high-level legal groups in Washington, D.C. that Prince Harry is not accepting this quietly. The Duke of Sussex has reportedly spoken with international human rights lawyers about possibly taking a case to the European Court of Human Rights. The argument is that taking away children's birthrights and identity without proper legal process breaks the rules of the European Convention on Human Rights. Harry is no longer only fighting for a title. He is fighting to set a legal example. If he wins, it could start a major constitutional crisis that puts the British Parliament in conflict with international law. Revelation number 23, the Andrew issue. Pressure. Why has the king acted so strongly against Archie and Lilibet? The answer may be connected to the troubling situation of Prince Andrew. To legally remove the Duke of York from the line of succession, something many people in Britain are demanding, the king must create one rule that applies to all non-working royals. Archie and Lilibet are, in a way, being affected by the king's effort to remove the problems linked to Andrew from the monarchy's future. To remove a difficult brother, the king is also giving up his distant grandchildren. Revelation number 24, the Commonwealth reaction. This is not only an issue between the UK and the US. In countries like Canada, Australia, and Jamaica, the removal of the Sussex children has restarted discussions about becoming republics. Our investigation found that several Caribbean nations are using this decision as a final reason to cut their ties with the crown. They see a monarchy that can legally remove its own members as something that no longer fits a modern and diverse world. King Charles may be trying to make the monarchy smaller, but he could also be weakening his entire global influence. And then there is the quiet reminder in all of this, the memory of Princess Diana. Royal writers are pointing out a strong and emotional contrast. Diana worked to make the monarchy more human, to focus on people instead of just rules. Now her own grandchildren are being reduced to simple legal notes. Revelation number 25, the final choice. We have now reached the most serious point. Sources say that a final secret offer was sent to Montecito. The king has offered a dormant status for the children. They would keep their titles in name only, but they would be legally stopped from returning to Britain or using any royal rights. It is an offer that looks valuable but comes with strong limits. If Harry refuses, the removal becomes complete. The House of Windsor will officially turn into a family focused only on the direct line of succession. The world is watching closely, and the situation could not be more serious. This is no longer simple drama. It is the breaking down of a royal dynasty. As we move to the final conclusion, we reveal one last important piece of evidence that shows this plan began many years ago and what the final result means for the future of Archie and Lilibet. As we reach the end of this investigation, one final and chilling detail remains. Revelation number 25, the King's Secret Will. Sources from inside the royal archives say that King Charles III has recently added a private note to his will, a document that will stay sealed for 100 years. This note is said to officially confirm the permanent removal of the Sussex family line from the Crown's private wealth. It is the final step that ends their royal identity. The legal removal of Archie and Lilibet is not just a family disagreement. It is a careful and planned rebuilding of a 1,000-year-old system to protect its future. King Charles has chosen the crown over his own family. He has given up the joy of his grandchildren in exchange for a more stable and smaller monarchy. But history often repeats itself. Just as the Duke of Windsor spent his life in a rich but distant exile in France, Archie and Lilibet are now being shaped into an American version of the Windsor family. They are children born to a prince, but legally separated by a king. Will they grow up to become the monarchy's biggest challengers, creating a new kind of royal identity in California, or will they simply become another small note in the long and often difficult history of the House of Windsor? The decision has been made. King Charles has chosen his path. The House of Windsor has been cleared. Archie and Lilibet may still carry royal blood, but they no longer have the protection of the monarchy. But the final question is now for you. Do you think King Charles is doing what is needed to protect the monarchy? Or do you think he has done something that cannot be forgiven to his own grandchildren? This is a moment that will shape the king's legacy forever. Scroll down and share your opinion in the comments. We read each and every one. If you found this investigation helpful, press the like button and share this video with someone who should know the truth about the royal family. And most importantly, subscribe and turn on all notifications. We are watching this situation all the time, 24/7, and you do not want to miss our next update about the quiet conflict inside the palace. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next investigation.